You float too.
A Dallas XY creation.
You float too.
You float too. No, 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 no. Keeping it a buck, but they still call me Penny. All about my cheese, why you think I live in dairy? The only way I eat is keeping fear in this town. The way kids disappear, you think that Epstein's still around. I'm an underground rapper, watch me float up to the top. See that red balloon, that's a sign you getting popped. I live in your mind, call that penny for your thoughts. Got a body count higher than an OnlyFans thought. Took Georgia these arms, so you know I'm on the dangerous. Got his boat, I got them racks, so yeah. Holding paper up, bill asking where his bro be at. He floating like the boat he had. Roll me up another bitch, I'm smoking on that Georgie pack. One wrong move, you'll be floating in the septic. Headless, no remorse, I'll take you off the census. Nothing weighs heavy on my chest but a necklace. I run up on bill like I'm late on the electric. Like a foster parent, got your kids in my custody. I do it cause I'm hungry, plus this shit is fun to me. You can never fuck with me, I am what they wanna be. 2016, had a clown trend because of me. No matter how far you try to run, I'm still behind. I stay living in the tunnels of your mind. I be doing stand up while you can't stand up. Hunting down kids turned to a manhunt. Back in Derry for the summer. Drag that boy into the gutter. Took a brother from another. Took a son from a mother. Hey, your cousin, he was bustin'. Think I'm bluffing, bitch, you buggin'. I'ma gut your whole crew. When I pull through, you gon' float too. I said, welcome to Derry. I get strong when they get scary. Catch 'em at the Barrens, teach 'em life is temporary. Bitch, I said, welcome to Derry. Heart as cold as January. Dripping in the sewer, and the drip is what I'm wearing. I do this shit for grills. Rubies on my grills. I got custom painted red balloons on my wheels.
Okay, this isn't karaoke hour, okay, y'all? Anyway, what up? It's the KRISTOPHER. It's the KW podcast. Guess who's speaking? KW speaking, bitches. Anyway, I'll probably make this more professional, but since I'm probably talking to myself, like usual, not complaining. I just think it's funny that I make these videos and I get no views or comments, but whatever. I'm still fine on my end, even if I don't get none. You know, their loss is the way I see it. You know, God sees everything, y'all. It's not fair when you shadow ban YouTube. Y'all shouldn't even be a monopoly. That's illegal. Last time I checked. The only reason y'all got in power is because crooked politicians, Democrats, gave y'all tons of money, you know. Excuse me. Y'all gave them tons of money in donations so they turn a blind eye. Payoffs, you know, all this corruption that we're seeing constantly in the news. And people like me getting attacked, my firm, busting my ass for 20 years. Now all I'm doing is talking on a YouTube channel like a fucking idiot. Excuse my language. But whatever. I mean, you can't watch random videos on YouTube without hearing an F-bomb. But if you say one, they demonetize your... Anyway, back to the program here. Anyways, if you look at the last 100 videos I've made I've been right on every single call. If you're someone following me and taking my advice, you would have made a bunch of money. So that's on you, YouTube, for trying to hold a good man down. Shame on you if you have any. Whatever. I'm talking to myself like a fucking idiot. Anyways, here's to the fucking program, y'all. Welcome to the fucking KRIS fucking whatever, just fucking podcast. Just fucking watch it. Play. God, play. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Okay, now it should play. Because I'm sure y'all are done hearing me bitching and complaining. Actually, I'm sure no one's hearing it because no one's even watching it because I'm getting blocked. So I'm just talking to myself like a fucking idiot. Whatever. Yes, I'm drinking a beer. I'm only having one. So don't get your pennies in a wad. All right? It's freaking hot over here. I got no air conditioning because my electricity shut off. Yeah, exactly. But at least my house has gone up about $100,000 in value. So, ha ha, assholes! Y'all can screw me over, try to bankrupt me in this stupid sanctuary city full of scoundrels. But you can't hold a good man down. You can get away with that for a little while, but in the long run, it's bound to come around and bite you in the ass. You know who I'm talking to. Excuse me. But KW, that's unprofessional to drink a beer, wear a wife beater, and belch and spew profanities. Yeah, it is normally unprofessional if someone actually watched my video. Normally, but since no one watches it, what violation of professionalism, of professional standards of conduct am I violating? Nada! All right, I feel better now.
What a week, Heidi. Happy Friday. I mean, we saw that roller coaster ride among markets and even SpaceX having 2 sessions of declines. It's interesting because despite all of this excitement, we saw that pressure on the company, but it's a company that continues to give us headlines, right? And we're now hearing that they're entering the credit market. Sources telling us the bankers are preparing investors, calls for a bond offering that could be at least $20 billion. The debt sale would refinance a temporary $20 billion bridge loan that matures in 2027. And this, of course, after the company received investment grade ratings from Moody's, Fitch, S&P. Moody's citing, for example, Starlink's strategic importance and SpaceX's government relationships. And this really playing into the broader story that AI funding, Heidi, is expanding beyond equity markets. And we know that Musk has utilized debt markets extensively in the past in his other businesses as well.
It's quite extraordinary because there is a sense that the epic fundraising campaign for this company has just begun. He's sort of made a lot of historical comparisons to the Union Pacific infrastructure project in California and how that was sort of thought upon as crazy at the time, but obviously proved people wrong. But if you take a look at modeling and what economists and financial analysts are expecting from SpaceX, they're saying that the company will spend more than $1 trillion by the end of the decade, the bulk of that focused on the AI operations and getting data centers to space. If you take a look at the share price, though, we have seen a little bit of to and fro, perhaps understandably, given how fast it had run up as well.
Excuse me. Very nice. Kind of. All right. Charles Schwab sucks. Yeah, whatever. Let me tell you something about Schwab. They screwed me over so bad. I went to them thinking that they're a top class firm to custody my clients' assets for my registered investment advisor firm of 20 years, being a certified financial planner. I'm board certified, arguably harder than to become a medical doctor. So you got someone with an arguably harder certification than to get board certified as a medical doctor and getting 0 views. There's something wrong with that. So not only that, I have investment advisor license. I have stockbroker license, Series 7. I have the Series 3 commodities license. I have the Series 34 Forex trading license. I have the General Lines, Life, Health, and Texas insurance, long-term care, all that stuff. I have the underwriting certification, degrees in finance and accounting, and I got 20 years experience, and I'm the principal of my own firm. I bet you your financial advisor doesn't have all those credentials or experience and be as young as I am. Most advisors at my level have a full set of gray hair and 10 to 15 years older than me. And I have more experience than the average older gray-haired advisor. Plus, I know how to manage my own portfolio. I went to college for this. See, this is my ring right here. That's my ring. I busted my ass in college. No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all. I'm just getting loud to try to make, and I'm trying to be what is called impactful. For those of y'all who misgeneralize, misattribution is when you attribute, the wrong generalization to someone and categorize them through division. Yes, that's what that's called. Before you go and do all that, maybe you should stop for a second and humble yourself. So, anyways, I'm probably just talking to myself again like an idiot, but whatever. I just don't give a shit anymore, honestly. Honestly, I would give up all this if I could just have a good woman to start a family with. I would give up everything. I'd give up my firm, my house. I wouldn't give up my health. Thank God I had that, even though I'm still recovering from a broken collarbone from an accident where I had to get back surgery and hit my head. It left me in a precarious situation, but whatever. I try to get help, through the government after, paying taxes for 20 years. They won't even help me. It's crazy that they're just dishing out money. I live in a sanctuary city, crawling with illegals. I literally have to carry a gun with me everywhere I go so I don't get murdered because I am a target. I'm like the number one target. They probably have me up on a poster, a white straight male that they think should probably got a big old target on it with like bullet holes. They want us to go to prison. Then they're trying to teach our kids that white people, whatever that means, because last time I checked, we're all come from the same genome genetically, but some of our ancestors, y'all, went up to the north, and in the north there's not a lot of sun because there's a bunch of snow and shit. For example, look at London. The sun only comes out 3 times a year. That's why they have bad teeth. See, down here in Texas, we have great teeth. See? Because we get a shitload of sun down here. It's freaking hot as hell. I don't know how this gringo shit. I got a fan blowing on me constantly. You can hear it in the background. Anyways, back to the program or whatever. I'm still up like 60% this year. I'm down like 10% from last time we talked. And that was because I shorted the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. And then I got out realizing that the trade deal was going to be done. So I got back in. So I'm up 60% in like 2 months. That's more than your portfolio's made probably in 2 years. Hey, Scott Benson, he's good. Listen. Yeah, that's what they always do. This is Bloomberg. I like how she says that. This is Bloomberg. Yep. Rappers are. Come on, play. What the fuck? Okay. Remember I said to buy TQQ? No, not that. TQQ. What the hell? This is just QQQ. Yeah, that's it. No, 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 no. Whoop, 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 whoop. I think I live in Derry. Electric. See, I run up on the bill like my electric shut off. That's really funny. End up, I do stand up. manhunt. Summer. Whoop, whoop. You gotta. Whoop, whoop. Summer. Woo! Person. Continue to pocket. Uh, Go through. He'll go to. Okay, enough of that. All right. The point I'm trying to make here is that had you taken my recommendation last Thursday to buy TQQ, Jesus, man, just can't get a damn quote on here. Okay, get back. Come on, play. I need volume. There you go. You'd be up 9%. That's my point. My point here is that had you taken my advice and bought TQQ, which is the NASDAQ times 3, you would be up 9% in the last 3 days since last Thursday. 9% is roughly what someone can make almost in a year in a portfolio return, although that's one stock, triple leverage. That's considered highly aggressive compared to a regular portfolio, FYI. So I got to be fair. You can lose just as much, but still, that was a solid recommendation. We'll look at the other ones here in a minute. Let's hear her out. Whenever I see someone talking with a bunch of books behind them, that means they're fronting. So on the streets, when people front, that means that they're lying. They're trying to be something they're not. Girl, don't front. I know you're the academic. What is this? Center for Arab and Islamic Studies? Senior lecturer? Wait, you read all these books on Islamic Arab studies? Did you learn that death to America is their mantra? How do you even get paid for that? Whack jobs. I almost don't even want to hear her talk. Because she's an academic. Yeah, no shit. Where's my pen? There's no conflict. Y'all made this up. They're on the same page. Such liars, man. Where's your burqa, Jesse? You got a guy's name. What's up with women trying to be men these days? You don't have any testosterone. They didn't have the capacity to hold it straight. Girl, you have deluded yourself. Whatever. Shut up. It's so stupid. That no capacity. We wiped out their military. We wiped out their air force. We wiped out everything. We killed their Ayatollah. Fucking whack jobs. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no shit. Instead of like taking it like a man, they get all mad and start attacking their neighbors. Start bombing Qatar and United Arab Emirates. Girl, say it right. It's so stupid. Wasting our time with this bull. All this conflict. Yeah, all this conflict where the Ayatollah got taken out and their entire. I know, particularly if. Particularly if they don't genocide like 50,000 of their own people again within like the last 6 months, bomb their neighbors, try to assassinate Trump, just little things like that. My sarcasm, run it deep. Their cash, they shouldn't have had that in the first place. First of all, when you get cash from terrorist activities, that's not yours. Okay? Jesse. Yeah, I'm smoking on my professional channel because I don't have to be something I'm not. I'm genuine. I'm being myself. I'm not fake. If you don't like me, that's your problem. If someone doesn't think you're good enough, then they're not good enough for you, y'all. Remember that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, crack down on domestic opposition. You mean murdering 50,000 people again for simply protesting? Jesus. Okay, this might be useful. What supreme leader? What supreme leader? We still don't know who that is. What is wrong with these people? What supreme leader? Last time I checked, the supreme leader is dead, as in pushing up daisies. British divides. Hey. Uh-huh. Yeah, oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bridge the divide, you mean their entire populace is against their own government for, genociding them? Yeah, last time I checked, that's pretty legit reason. You don't even acknowledge that? You have no heart? Jesse Moritz? Who are you people? Who are y'all? How spineless, how callous, how lack of heart, how lack of, yeah, what's the word? Empathy. That's like the buzzword for you Democrats. Where's the lack of empathy for massacring over 50,000 people for just simply protesting? Huh? That's criminal. She sits there with a straight face, doesn't acknowledge any of that. Talks about a supreme leader that doesn't even exist anymore. What planet did you just parachute off of, girl? Man, y'all are so deluded from reality. That movie Idiocracy, where like people become so like dependent on like machines and the computers and stuff that they lose their ability to have critical thought, to think for themselves. That's literally happening in real time now. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no shit. Yes, perhaps we can learn from other humans when we're making a humanoid robot. Oh, that you're modeling it after a human. Who else are you going to learn it from? This is what I'm talking about, idiocracy. No shit. Jeez, oh my God. Ah. You got to cut through the nonsense, y'all. I get worked up, I get loud, but inside me, inside my soul, my mind, my emotions are stable. Just because I get loud doesn't mean I'm angry, YouTube. So don't strike me for being myself, okay? This is how I normally talk. How do you think I've established a 20-year firm? Because I give it to people straight. I don't bullshit them. That's called integrity. Blah, blah, blah. We're talking about Australia now. Apparently, they had a recent tax change, which is something that we should pay attention to since we are looking at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Bring it up. Let me center this. All right, remember my call here. I said it's going to go up to here. It's going to bounce off that resistance price point. Each of these lines is 1 day. See, we're on the daily chart. So I said 1 day. Okay, so these two lines, I was right. This day I was wrong, but that's just a small down day. Next day, we're probably going to see this, boom, boom. So remember what I said, buy the rumor, sell the news. So tomorrow is D-Day. Tomorrow we find out if the Islamic regime, that deluded expert of Iran studies and Islamic studies, she should be wearing a burqa. I mean, if you're going to represent something like that, then you need to like live it too. You need to buy your own product. For those of y'all who sell things in life, pretty much when everything's a sale on the way, if you're going to be selling Islamic, then then you need to be living the Islamic. You need to buy your own product. You need to practice what you preach. It's called integrity. Girl, if you're going to sit there and defend and sympathize Iran, which I had no idea why anyone would, unless like you're like straight up evil. But if you're going to do that, at least wear a burqa, girl. You know, I'm wearing my Whitney financial hat. I don't know if you can see here. It has my signature on the logo. That means when you work with my firm, you know we did our due diligence. That's why my signature is on my logo. Yo. That's why my signature is on my logo. Yo. Because you can know that we did our due diligence. So don't be a hoe. I'm a poet. I didn't know it. If I could grow my own weed, I'd grow it. Really, I would. People don't know the benefits of it. Anyway. I literally use it to work out half the time. Because I got arthritis and I'm in my 40s. I'm a middle-aged guy. And shit hurts. When you get older and you get my age, things hurt when you wake up. Well, that's probably because I had an accident recently. I'm still recovering, but whatever. Just get to the program. See what they're saying here. I'm missing stuff. We're still on Australia. We got 10 minutes left in the program, y'all. Basically a continuation. We got dollar has been on a tear, and that's driven by the hawkish Fed with the new pick wash. That was that is what it actually accounted for the pullback, and so my trade that was up 70% in the last couple months is down to only 60%, which is still a nice return. But that 10% loss is what I took from the results of the FOMC meeting. And that's where the debut of Warsh, new Fed chair, came out, and then they were hawkish. And that's why we saw things drop. So just take a look at rates here. Go back 5 day. So we had a run up to the people ran up, and then they sold the news and went. That's where I got caught right here. Let's take a look at the dollar in the last 5 days. Yeah, look at that. See, that dollar had quite a jump there. Do some quick arithmetic. So the jump here was 96.21 to 97.08. Come on. I'll be faster. 96.22, 97.08. 97.08, and then 96.29. It's a difference of 8.87 divided by the beginning, 96.29. So that's almost 1%. Just a pretty good move. Alibaba. I'm trying to pull up a quote here. The China bull. It's been down. And it's taken a beating. It could double in value pretty quickly. Look at that, 50 to 25. China bull. That's that's what they're saying, that China stocks were rallying, and so here is the China bull times 3 index. YINN, this ticker symbol here. It's 25 is where it's at. 50 is the target. So 100% gain historically. That was back in November. So that is what, 7 months ago. So if the past is any indication, past doesn't guarantee future performance. But 6 months you could have 100% return potentially, and I don't see why not. especially after the trade deal that Trump just made with China, and that China people like Trump and China government like Trump. In fact, just about every government likes Trump except for Iran, uh, Venezuela. Well, their government's dissolved. Even even like Russia likes Trump. It's just like basically Iran was Venezuela, parts of Europe, the government, not the people. Christina Lagarde, like I said, she did a hike ahead of time now that inflation is coming down since the strait is normalizing. Okay, markets are opening at 7 o'clock right now. Yen is above the 160 intervention level, meaning that the Bank of Japan can come in and buy a bunch of their currency again. Just like I think it was 2 weeks ago, they blew $70 billion, and it dropped the yen, but now it's right back to where it was. So they just wasted 70 billion. So I mean, they hesitate to just throw good money at the bad, you know. Asia stocks set to rally. Remember, I talked about this ETF. I'm not endorsing it, but I use it often. And just AI demand is blowing up still. I mean, it's really coming a long way. It's changing everything. I mean, just look at every commercial on Bloomberg here. It's got something to do with technology, you know, and governments. What I've learned over 20 years is that the growth comes from technology mostly. Income comes from diversified industries, from established, mature industries. I like Jonathan Farrow. I don't like her. She's so fake, condescending. And Jonathan Farrow tolerates her. When that big old guy, old guy, I forget his name, was on there, they would try to team up against him. Jonathan Farrow is like one of the only Republicans on the entire Bloomberg. And he's like a moderate Republican too, but he holds his own. I don't know how he bites his tongue. Like there's a couple times he walked off set in the middle of the set. Everyone's like, "Ooh." I thought he wasn't coming back, but he has such a following that they can't fire him, even if he walks off for getting unfairly treated. Yeah, there's a fair amount of concern whether or not they decide to agree to it still. They still haven't signed it. Oh. Yeah. Okay, okay. All right, blah, blah, blah. I like Sherry on, but she's just doing her regular thing here. Now, just wanted to sum up things. Basically, we're seeing a continuation. We're going to see Asian stocks rally. Watch out for Japanese yen. It's an intervention level. The the dollar has rallied the last couple days, but we can see a pullback in the dollar. As you can see here, the dollar had a nice little jump, but that creates a vacuum space. We call it gap trading, and so it could come back down to that. 1% move in the dollar is um, pretty big when it leverages everything else. The dollar moves everything. If there's one indicator you look at to know what's going on in the market, you look at the dollar because it's a foreign reserve currency in the United States. As the largest gross domestic product. So, good morning to everyone. Happy Friday, and keep an eye out to sell the news. If there any news comes out, there might be no headline at all. They might just presume that the trade deal with Iran is good, but I believe the signing is today. So keep that in mind, and hold on to those Asian trades. Here we go. This is what we need here. You forgot to say past performance doesn't guarantee future results. You're supposed to disclose that. Yeah. Whenever Sherian says that means she's like, yeah, whatever. Give me the ticker symbol for the largest oil bear ETF 3 times leverage.
The largest 3 times leveraged bare oil ETF is NRGD. It tracks the selected U.S. Big Oil Index. For financial advice, consult a professional.
I am a professional, bitch. Come on, NRGD, man. There we go. Remember I said to buy a 3 times short oil ETF? It's up 5%. I was going to say, it's up 20% since Thursday when I gave the recommendation. So you would have made a 20% gain. All right, this stupid thing can't even like load. I'm just going to wrap this up here. All right, guys. This is the KW podcast. KW speaking here. Come on, stupid computer. All right. Tech stocks in Asia. Buy the Golden Dragon Index. Take profit on your oil trade. Take profit on TQQ. Buy YINN. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. We do not give tax advice or legal advice. We're not tax or legal advisors. Okay, we're investment, stock trading, insurance, and financial advisors. So consult your tax advisor. If you have a tax question or legal question, speak to an attorney. We do have attorneys and tax advisors within the firm that we work with, but we're supposed to say that by regulation. Not that anyone's listening to me. I'm basically talking to myself again like a fucking idiot. But anyways, if I actually do get a viewer and you follow my recommendations, congratulations. You just made a shitload of money. Anyways, I'm fucking signing out now. KW Podcast. This is the KRISTO fucking PHER, whatever. Just fucking hit the like and subscribe and share if you're fucking watching, since no one's fucking watching. Have a nice fucking day.